Hi everybody, thanks for joining Create with Dee. Today I'll share with you how you can make this stair step card that features images and product from the Holly Berry designer paper that's in the current holiday mini. So let's get started making this stair step card. We need a piece of cardstock using Real Red, and it's cut at 5 1/4 by 10 1/2. Again, 5 1/4 by 10 1/2. And we're going to score it using Simply Scored scoring tool at 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 4 1/4, 6, and 8 1/4. So we'll go ahead and score that, and we'll get a piece of cardstock that looks like this, all scored up at those different points. Then what we want to do is fold it in a mountain valley fold, which simply means you're going to go fold it back and forth, kind of like an accordion fold. Okay, so again, kind of just up, down, and you'll get a piece of paper, a piece of cardstock that looks like that. And you guys, that is it. That's all it is to get your stair step. And then from there, it's just whatever your creativity might lead you to. So today we're going to decorate our stair step to look like this. The focal point of this card is the oval scallop frame, and we're going to use our Big Shot Sizzix die that will punch that out, or die cut that out. So what I did is I just kind of eyeballed the measurements for the designer paper. Again, that's Holly Berry bouquet, and some Real Red cardstock that would fit over the entire image. And I found that taking my glue stick and just putting the designer paper onto the cardstock works the best. It kind of saves a step. What I want to do is reinforce this designer paper. It's not sturdy enough on its own to stand up here. So in this case, I do have it reinforced or layered on Real Red. So if you're looking at this card from behind, this is what you would see. But it also gives some sturdiness to the designer paper. So I'll go ahead and use my bone folder to make sure I got a nice burnish on that. And I'll go run it through the Big Shot. So here's the pieces that you'll get. If you're a scrapbooker, you may want to hang on to that and maybe incorporate that somehow onto your scrapbook page. And we're going to get these 2 punched images from the die. Okay, so now we're ready pretty much just to start assembling. I'm going to go ahead and begin at the bottom layer here. I used the lace border punch and punched out a strip of, let's see, what was the dimensions on that? 5 by 1 1/2 inch strip, and I'm just going to go ahead and put that on. I'm going to use a little snail. Kind of put a little snail along the border, and that's going to go all along the edge here. Looks like that piece was just a tad bit short, so just pretend it matches exactly. I got a piece of designer paper layered onto Very Vanilla. The designer paper is cut at 4 3/4 by 1 1/4, and it's layered on Very Vanilla, cut at 1 1/2 by 5. And we'll go ahead and get that layered on our second step. So when it's closed and open, I want it on the second layer. Okay. And then on our third layer is where we're going to put down our oval frame. And I want to make sure just to put some adhesive on the lower half of it, because I don't need adhesive on the top part of it. So I've got a little snail adhesive on it, and I'm going to put the frame down so that the bottom of the oval is centered and it's on that crease. Okay, so get something that looks like that. And then we'll grab our Stampin' Dimensionals, and we're going to make a double layer. I really want this to pop. So again, I'm going to go towards the bottom of the oval. Don't want anything on the top of it because, you know, the top of it's not supported by anything and I don't want anything to show. And I'm going to make a double stack of dimensionals. I think my hand was in the road that last time. So again, just stacking these up so that those dimensionals are double high. And putting that so it lines up right with the scallop, the scallop border frame, but yet it has a little pop to it. So to make our sentiment, what I'm using is an image from Easy Events, and I love stamp sets in which you get what I kind of consider a 2-for-1 image. On this you have both an image and a sentiment, and I know that with using my Stampin' Markers I can just color in or ink up the sentiment, and then I kind of have a 2-for-1 stamp image. So I've got the image that says Merry Christmas, and I have my Wild Wasabi marker using the broader tip end, and I'm going to mark over the sentiment. Okay, so, and I found that with doing the markers, I like to roll the marker over the last trailing letters and make sure that I have nice good coverage. And then we want to re-moisten our ink by breathing on it or huffing. And it's not that type of huffing, guys. Don't laugh at me. So breathe and stamp. And then you get just the image that you colored. And I'm going to take the medium oval punch, and I'm going to punch out the sentiment. Line it up. You guys know me. I love my Stampin' Punch. Love it, love it. Just can't hardly lose. Put a little snail on the back of that, and I'm layering the sentiment on a piece of Wild Wasabi cardstock that's been punched out using the oval scallop. And then again, just using my snail, go ahead and we'll put the sentiment onto our card. And I'm going to put that, about right in the upper, a little bit higher than the center mark. Okay, next and the final step is to make the little rosette. Now, I've made these with you before. I've got a video on how to do it, and I'll do a quick reminder here. I've punched out a circle using the 1 3/8 circle punch, and you just start in by making an inward spiral. There's really no right or wrong about the width of it. Each little flower has its own unique personality, just like in nature. And so you have a little spiral cut circle that looks like this. And you take the top tip of it and you curl it backwards. And then you bring it inwards and keep spiraling. Okay, so you're going to have a little image that looks like this, and you do want to go ahead and let it relax. In fact, I always tell my girls, just drop it, kind of loosen it up. We want to loosen up those layers, so we tighten it up only to turn around and loosen it. So I might get something that looks like this, and then I kind of pump it. I'm just kind of getting that middle even more relaxed. Grab my mini glue dot. And the mini glue dot's what's going to keep it all together. And I'm going to take the bottom part of my circle, pick up that glue dot, and put it together to hold it. So you could have a little rosette that looks like that, and I like it to have a squish look, so I take one of my clear mount blocks and put it over the rose and squish it. And it just kind of flattens it. There we go. And that's the look that I like the best. And then I'm just going to pick up another glue dot on the back of my rose. And it finishes off our little sentiment here. Okay, so that's how I made this step card and how I use the holiday bouquet designer paper and the oval frame in order to make this card. So I hope you give the Stair Step cards a try, a couple of score and folds, and you'll be all set and on your way of decorating a really interactive and cute card to give somebody. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Happy crafting. Bye-bye.